meet our senator
No.
at 11.
I got kicked out. Why do I have to stay on mute the whole time?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How do I scan the tool?
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. Today is the day. Welcome to the 2022 Virtual Disability Services Day at the Capitol. My name is Sue Shuttle, and I am the CEO of ARRM. Joining me here today is Julie Johnson, and Julie is the current president of MOHR and the CEO of MSS. So it's so great to see all of you here today. Julie and I want to thank you for
a lot of people.
Julie and I want to thank you for joining us today. If you all could do me a favor, when you pop onto this call, if you can mute your lines, we're trying to mute them as people are coming on, but sometimes we're not able to do that as quickly as we'd like. So if you can make sure that your lines are muted, that would be great. Again, Julie and I want to thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate the time that each and every one of you set aside to join us on this important day. We know that members are participating from all over the state, and that's exactly what we want to have happen. We thought it would be kind of fun if we were able to capture what city you're from. So if you want to go ahead and pop that into the chat, it shows kind of, far that we're reaching the entire state. So let us know what city you're in. As you know, it's more important than ever that we demonstrate to policymakers and others how people in this great state of Minnesota truly care about the future of disability services. Our impact at the Capitol is only made possible by advocates like you showing up today and making your voices heard. This advocacy is always important, but especially now, given the tremendous need for legislative support for our important services. So thank you for coming. I will now turn it over to Julie.
Thank you, Sue, and good morning, everybody. It's great to see all the people on the screen and all the cities coming across the screen. It's amazing. As Sue said, I'm Julie Johnson, and I'm the president of MOHR and also the president of MSS. And I too am glad to be here today to help kick off Disability Services Day at the Capitol. We all know it's been 2 years since we've been able to join in person in the rotunda and feel that energy that we all enjoy when we all have the opportunity to gather together. But we're grateful to have this opportunity to get together virtually, to have our voices heard, and to be able to share stories with legislators around the state about the value of disability services. In a moment, we're going to start to hear from a bunch of legislative supporters about our services. We also have some video messages to share for those people that are supporting us that are not able to join our rally today. Before we do that, I just want to reiterate one thing that Sue said. Today is your day. This is your Capitol. These are your legislators. Tell your story to your state legislators. When you share those personal experiences, that really means a lot to legislators. They really listen to that. And they understand the urgency of the things that we're asking for to ensure that people can live their best lives. So if you haven't already made an appointment with a legislator and you can't jump onto another appointment, please reach out to them in the coming days and weeks and ask for an appointment and spend some time telling your story. If you have any issues doing that, you can reach out to the MOHR and ARRM staff, and we'd be happy to help you schedule those appointments. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Sue to introduce our first legislative speaker today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Julie. Senator Miller, I believe, is on the call here. So Senator Miller is the majority leader in the Minnesota Senate and represents the Winona area. Senator Miller should be no stranger to all of you, as he's participated in our Disability Services Day at the Capitol before. And he's been a strong advocate for the people with disabilities and their staff. Senator Miller.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is so great to see everyone via Zoom. I know you have a great turnout today because I tried to log in a couple of times and it said that Zoom was at capacity. So this is absolutely fantastic. It's not quite the same as having everyone here at the Capitol and the rotunda and all that energy. This is one of my most favorite days at the Capitol is Disability Services Day. And while we can't quite gather in person, this is a great opportunity for people all across the state of Minnesota to come together and share their thoughts and their input on this very, very important issue. I am from the Winona area, and I saw in the chat there were lots of Winonas popping up, so it's great to see a good turnout from southeastern Minnesota and all across the state of Minnesota. I will tell all of you this. Disability services has long been a bipartisan issue at the Capitol where Democrats and Republicans join together to try to get good things done for the people of Minnesota, especially for folks living with disabilities. But I will tell you this, the progress that has been made in the state of Minnesota would absolutely not happen without all of your grassroots support and effort. So I just want to say thank you for being on this Zoom today. I hope that we can gather in person at some point in the near future, but keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Keep up the loud voices and all that strong energy that I know that each of you have. And finally, I just want to say thank you to the staff. The staff is absolutely amazing. You are incredible for the work that you do, and you all are making a very, very big difference. We know there are staffing shortages all across the state, across all industries. We are trying to address those challenges, but we look forward to continuing to work with each and every one of you to ensure that we're supporting people with disabilities as well as the staff that put in a tremendous amount of work and effort to support all of you. So thank you for having me. Thank you for all of your hard work, and we look forward to continuing to work with each and every one of you.
Thank you very much. I know Julie will be taking it next, but I do have a favor to ask with folks. We are, as Senator Miller has indicated, we have hit capacity, and so wondering if some folks would be willing to watch this on Facebook Live instead of this Zoom link. That would free up some openings for our speakers that are going to be scheduled here to be talking to us shortly. So if you're all right doing that, go ahead. If not, that's okay too. We will, I think we're going to be listening to a video right now. Anna, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Emily Orr, the Director of Adaptive Recreation and Inclusion at Reach for Resources. I rally to promote the equity and inclusion of all abilities into our community and to ensure that the individuals supporting those people are paid a fair and equitable wage.
Hi, I'm Beth from CCRI, and this is why I rally. I think it's a great way to reach more of our senators and representatives that actually represent us. I think it's a good way to get to know some of the other people who do this kind of DSP work. I like to see the enthusiasm of our clients who support us and want us to have better wages, so we stick around and keep working with them. I think a wage increase is good for all of us. And it is just really good to see all that excitement all together.
Hello, my name is Cindy Ostrowski, and I'm the CEO for Hiawatha Homes. I rally to advocate for the people we support and all of our hard-working team members. I rally to raise awareness about the importance of disability services in our community, our state, and our nation. We must keep working together to honor people's choices through creative service options, and we must value the role of our direct support professionals and pay them a livable and competitive wage. Together, we can make a difference.
I'm Gracie Hennon, and I am a DSP at CCRI. I rally because my clients, they are everything. They are joy, they are laughter, they are happiness, and they are 100% themselves all the time, and we need more support so we can be there for them to help them be 100% all the time.
Hi, my name is Anna and I work at CCRI, and I rally because the people that we support deserve consistent staff, and the DSPs that we employ deserve a livable wage for the very important work that they do.
Hi, my name is Heather and I rally for CCRI because our caregivers, our DSPs, they're the heart and soul of CCRI. They're with our clients every step of the way, doctor's appointments to the grocery store to these fun vacations they get to go on. It all starts with our DSPs. And as essential workers, they deserve better pay.
Bob Chandler, I'm a retired attorney. My great nephew is in a group home, and the quality of his life depends totally on the quality of the caregivers that provide for his day-to-day needs. They give everything to Daniel, and it's time for us to give something back to them.
Awesome. That was a powerful video. I mean, the advocates really make it all what we do happen. Sorry about that. That was really powerful. I really appreciate the folks that got together and put that together for us. Advocates are where it's at for us. We need you all to tell your story. So that was a great video of that. So up next, we have Representative New Brindley. Representative New Brindley represents the North Branch area and is currently serving as the Deputy Minority Leader in the House. In her 3 terms, Representative New Brindley has been a strong voice on behalf of services with people with disabilities. Representative New Brindley, are you there?
I am, thank you. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be here today and have just a minute of your time. I know that frankly, there are far more interesting and important stories to hear than what I have to say. But I just want you to know that my background, while not specifically with the disability community, my background is that I'm a former nursing assistant and a caregiver in that way. And I was a caregiver to my own husband before he passed away as well of ALS. And so certainly it required significant caregiving. And so I feel like I have a very personal connection to what all of you do day in and day out. And I just thank you for what you do. I also just want to say I just caught the very tail end of that video, but I caught enough to hear him say that in referring to his nephew, the quality of his life depends on the quality of his caregivers. And we are so blessed in the state of Minnesota to have just amazing quality caregivers. I have several group home providers in my district, and I have visited their group homes, and I have visited with the residents who live there. And it is amazing to me to talk to the caregivers and talk to the folks who do this. And I think particularly about the pandemic and the sacrifices that caregivers were willing to make during the pandemic to keep their residents safe. Excuse me. But I think of the sacrifices that that so many caregivers were willing to make for people who, while not born family, I know firsthand become family in this profession and doing what you do. So I want to acknowledge that and thank you for that and what you do. And as a state, you know, it's a frustrating and convoluted issue, but I feel like often our direct service providers are the ones who get a little left behind, right? We have these different groups who, and I get it, it's a monstrous undertaking, right? To consider the needs of everyone. But my feeling is that you folks who are direct service providers and providing direct care to folks in the disability community are the ones who are helping folks live as independently as they can. You are the ones who are giving them quality of life. As we like to say, I frankly don't love the term quality of life because we often try to determine what a quality of life looks like for other people, and we're not always very good at that. There is a lot of quality of life, and I know that you see that in your clients and the people that you are caring for, the quality of life that happens. But that's happening because of all of you, and that deserves to be acknowledged and not just verbally, but through how all of you are taken care of. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Representative New Brindley. I appreciate your comments and thanks for coming today. Next up, we have Representative Hanson. Representative Hanson serves on the House Human Services, Finance and Policy Committee and is the House lead author on our Best Life Alliance legislation this session. Representative Hanson, are you there?
Hello, I am here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I only have a few minutes because I have to go to Human Services to talk about the important House File 3100, which will help readjust and fix our DWRS system. So this is an exciting day to get to see all of you as I kind of go into that, because I do this work as a means to amplify your voice. You are on the front lines, you are providing the services, or you are receiving those life-changing services. And it is my hope that this bill will help make things a little better. We know it's rough out there right now. We know we have a ton of open positions and a ton of people who are not getting the services that they need in order to live the lives they want to live. So I hear you. Thank you for advocating. Thank you for standing up. The change that we want to make in the world happens because of the voices that you bring to the Capitol. Today's bill is a result of the work you've put forward. So I want you all to just give yourselves a round of applause for sticking with it and for fighting the good fight on this, because without you and without your voices at the Capitol, we wouldn't be able to do the good work that we do for folks around the state. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know there are so many great stories here, but I invite you to reach out, contact myself or your representative with any questions or advocacy that you feel like you'd like to see happen in St. Paul, because I believe the solutions to the problems we face are among the minds and hearts of people experiencing them and helping manage them. So please bring those forward. I could talk to you folks all day. I just appreciate what you do, and I'm so grateful for everything. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Representative Hansen, and thank you for all you do. Next, we're going to go to Senator John Hoffman, who's the ranking minority member of the Senate Human Services Reform Policy and Finance Committee. He's a longtime supporter of disability services, and he always gets people revved up on day at the Capitol. So John, Representative Hoffman, or Senator Hoffman, are you with us this morning?
Representative, I like that. That was good, Julie.
You're representing. You get us fired up.
I'm representing. That's funny. I wish you were in person. Thank you. How's everybody doing? You got 463 people on this call. Usually in the rotunda, there's more than that. So it's good to be here. We are at a pivotal point, you guys, right? I mean, as everybody's talking about stuff that is, what's happening in Minnesota. I said last week in our committee that, especially with the closing of some group homes in southern Minnesota, and the idea was to, from the folks in the agency, was to put the folks in the group homes into an assisted living facility. And I just got really scared, and I said that's institutionalizing, and we can't do that. And so I made the comment, once again, people with disabilities are forgotten in any policy conversations, and you cannot let that happen anymore, you guys. It's like, be the squeaky wheel. You're constantly making yourself available to those local elected officials. It was good to see Jess Hansen on here talking about, what matters is you. You are the one that matters. You are the folks that matter. You individually matter. And that's exactly the message that needs to come forward, because as decisions are being made, especially now that we're looking at, 9.2 billion or 9.3 billion, who's counting the 0.2 surplus, there becomes an argument now. It becomes political. And one of the things that is going to be really bothersome is it's probably going to be at the end of session when they're going, oh, well, this is how we should spend the money or not spend the money, right? And that conversation is going to be happening in the little committees, right? But in the little committees, especially the committee I serve on, we want to make sure we have our bills ready, that when and if we get some supplemental money down, that it goes to the right thing. And the right thing is to making sure that we're elevating the services and the cost and the payment to people that are providing the services, right? We need to be doing that. There's a bill in there that is doing that. It was so much urgency at the beginning of session. We over in the Senate passed that bill to elevate the payments to PCAs and the home and community-based services piece, right? All of a sudden, it's just sitting there now. So if anything, get a hold of your elected officials and say, hey, the bill that was elevating the payments to people, we really need to push that through, right? I mean, that's one of the things that you can really be working on. And that's absolutely, regardless of the person's Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, whatever it is that they are as an elected official, you are a constituent. You have a right, you have a voice, you have an obligation to help educate somebody. And I call that educating somebody, I call it the Marge Mann theory. Down in Marshall, Minnesota, there's this mom, her name is Marge Mann. And years ago, there was an elected official over in the House that we needed a signature on a bill, right? And we pulled him out of committee, and he was the assistant minority leader at the time. Bob Brick and I pulled him out of committee. I don't know if you guys remember Bob Brick, but this was 20 years ago. We pulled him out of committee, and we had this really thick bill about his aversion and deprivation. Do you know that one time people with disabilities used to get locked up in rooms in high schools? Not okay, right? So we had a bill to stop that. And he looked at the thickness of the bill. He looked at all of us, and he asked one question. What does Marge Mann think of this bill? And we did not miss a beat. We just said, she loves this bill. He said, where's a pen? He grabbed it and he signed it and he handed it back to him. Didn't even read the bill, right? But the fact is, somebody in his community had done their job to educate him about what's important to people with disabilities. That's my charge to you again this year. Make sure that you're doing that, right? And don't sit back and think, oh, well, they're so busy. No, you know what? If you're not doing the knock, knock, knock on the door, or pick up the phone or email or a single handwritten note to somebody, guess somebody else is doing that. So somebody else is getting that person's attention. Please get your attention to those folks. And it's important. You share your story about how the public impact that's happening affects you, right? I got a letter this morning, an email. I'm going to read it in committee today. I don't care what Senator Abler thinks. By the way, Senator Abler is doing a press conference on some stuff. He says hi. He said, make sure that you say hi to everybody. And so I'm saying hi on behalf of Senator Abler, the chair of Health and Human Services Reform. He puts a shout out, and he absolutely works together with me. We work together to make sure that the things we're doing for people with disabilities are not forgotten, right? And please help everybody who's elected not to forget about you. This is about you, period. This is about me. This is about you. Does that make sense to everybody? So enjoy your day, Julie and team.
Thank you, Senator Hoffman.
Run down the line and say hi to everybody and slap people's, high fiving hands and all that stuff. But we gotta keep doing what we're doing. So
thank you so much for your support and advocacy. Next up, we have Representative Hortman with us. Representative Hortman is the Speaker of the Minnesota House and represents the Brooklyn Park area. In her leadership roles, she has been a great supporter of disability services. Welcome, Representative Hortman.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here with all of you. It's quite a privilege to serve as the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, and John Hoffman is my senator, and I defer to him on all things related to disability services because he is an expert. So it's nice to see my senator on the call right before me. Really pleased to see folks on the Zoom call, and also looking forward to having more folks at the Capitol this year. After 2 years living with COVID-19, we're seeing things open up and people feeling a little bit more comfortable interacting in person. We have the vaccines and PPE now, things we didn't have at the beginning of the virus. And so please join us at the Capitol anytime that it works for you. But also communicating by email, telephone, and Zoom works also. There are some good things that have come out of COVID-19, and one of them is Zoom meetings. I think in the beginning, it was a big adjustment for all of us, but one of the cool things is I think a lot more people are able to participate because of the decreased time involved and the decreased travel involved. So going forward, Representative Kelly Moeller and Representative Heather Keeler are working on ways for our caucus to continue to have hybrid meetings so that we can make sure we have more engagement from people all across the state. The work that you do is so critical to helping Minnesotans with disabilities live and work in their communities. The lobbying that you do at the state capitol, the work you do to tell us your stories and keep us informed is absolutely critical. Thanks to the American Rescue Plan dollars from President Biden and all the Democrats in Congress last year, we were able to do a lot of great work in the budget, but we know that there's more work to do. Minnesota House DFL members were really strong in our commitment to invest in Minnesotans in our communities. And sometimes we had a little bit more difficult time convincing Senate Republicans to go along with us. We are committed to supporting Minnesotans with disabilities, their families, and those in the disability services community. Like so many areas of our economy, workforce shortages continue to be a massive problem in this field in particular. And I know that legislation that would take some short-term steps was heard in the House Human Services Committee on March 3rd, and that a bill that would take long-term steps is in committee today. We have some outstanding leaders and advocates in the Minnesota legislature, Senator Hoffman, of course, but your House bill authors and Human Services Committee Chair Jen Schultz is another champion. With a $10 billion budget surplus, there is a lot we can do to help Minnesotans across the board in many areas of their lives. I think one of our highest priorities is putting money in people's pockets. You know, the state is flush, but individual Minnesotans are not. And so that's something across the board I think we share as an objective. But there's a lot of investments that we need in the budget to deal with some of the challenges that we still have. And in particular, the workforce shortages in so many areas of our economy. And in some places, that workforce shortage is due to inadequate pay. And this sector is one of those areas. So with a $10 billion surplus, the Senate Republicans' approach of give it all back overlooks the important work that's undone to build the workforce that we need to care for Minnesotans. So please continue to share your stories with us. I'm very glad that you're meeting with legislators and hopefully emailing as well. Even if you think you know where your legislators stand, and even if you think they agree with you, it's still important to weigh in and share your thoughts. So thanks for being here and thanks for all you do.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Speaker Hortman. We appreciate all that you do.
And I don't know if you wanted to do any questions or just speak and like you got a whole big long line of speakers, right?
Yeah, we're going to wrap and go to committee because we have all kinds of exciting work going on today and let everybody get to their meeting. So thank you.
Fantastic. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Thank you so much to all of our legislative speakers, all of the people who work so hard to advocate and champion for services. Oh, I just got a message that says we have one more legislator before we wrap. So Sue, would you like to introduce our next legislator?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been from behind the scenes here. We've been texting back and forth as speakers have been coming on and off. So I'm glad that Representative Haley was able to join us. Representative Haley hails from Red Wing, Minnesota, and has been a strong supporter of disability services during her 3 terms in the legislature. Representative Haley, are you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me okay, Sue?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you even just on Zoom. I look forward to when we can all be in the Capitol in the Rotunda because your energy when you come there is just remarkable. And I know it energizes all of us. First, I just want to thank you, all of you, for your resiliency, your courage, your strength, coming through the past 2 years of COVID with all those challenges, and now with the workforce challenges. We hear you, and I just applaud you for that resiliency. This has been a time in our country and in our world that truly is unprecedented. And I'm glad that you have stayed healthy and strong with your friends and your family and the folks that help you live your best life. I am with this budget surplus, as other speakers have said, you know, it's an amount that we can't even really wrap our heads around. And a lot of proposals are on the table as to how we should deal with that money. I've been a proponent for disability services since I first started here in 2016. And although I don't serve on Health and Human Services, I've advocated and been a co-signer on a number of your bills that your advocates have proposed. I'm watching the bill that you currently have in committee, and we'll take a look at how that's moving through and when I can help, you know, sign on and get others in our caucus to support. If government can't do this, then I'm not sure what we're here for. I mean, this is so important. These shortages are of you know, nobody's fault. You are managing your business very well. We just have workforce shortages all across the state. And the work you do is hard work, and it's around the clock work. And we need to have a structure, reimbursement structure that recognizes that. So you'll have my support, as I said, as this moves through. And I know you want to get to committee, so thanks for having me. Thanks for your friendship. I actually have a call with one of my local folks after this, and I make it a point every interim in particular, you know, to visit some of your homes and get to know you. And I have some friendships that have, you know, started in 2016 and have carried through to this day. So know that that makes a difference. I get to know you and what your life is like, and you get to know me and my process in the legislature, and together that's how we can get things done. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sue, for the time.
Thank you so much, Representative Haley, for joining us here today. So with that, we're going to wrap. Thank you to everybody, all of our legislative speakers, all of our supporters. You're amazing. Thank you, most importantly, for everybody who joined us today and is going to schedule meetings and rally. Don't forget to magnify your voice on social media, #WhyWeRally, #Disability Services Day. It's your turn to tell your story. I hope everyone has great meetings today, and let your legislators know your story and why disability services are important to you. If you don't have a meeting coming up, we said there's a hearing at 10:30. You can find that in the ARRM app. We shared that with all MOHR members today. And it's going to be the hearing where we talk about the Best Life Alliance legislation to raise wages. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for putting up with our technology and texting back and forth as we're introducing speakers. And thank you for everybody who put the work in to make this rally happen. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.